an empty house and finding someone in your room who shouldn't be there. Someone who looked exactly like your sister, but it isn't. I don't really know how to start this, and honestly, I'm still shaking while typing this out. I just need to get it out of my head because I feel like if I don't write it down, I'm going to start thinking I imagined everything. I wish I had imagined it. I wish this whole thing was something I dreamed after eating something weird. But I know deep down in my chest that it wasn't a dream. Yesterday, after school, I came home around 3:30 like I always do. My parents both work late and my little sister Lena usually stays for art club until around 5. That's our routine. And yesterday was supposed to be a normal, boring Wednesday like any other. School was the same as always. Nothing special happened. The last class felt like it took forever and everyone was just waiting for the bell so we could leave. When it finally rang, I packed my stuff, said bye to a couple of friends, and walked home like I always do. The walk home is only about 10 minutes. I pass the same houses, the same small park, and the same corner stores every day. Sometimes I stop at the store, but yesterday I didn't. I just wanted to get home, sit down and relax for a bit. When I got to my street, everything looked normal. A few cars parked outside, someone walking their dog across the road. Nothing weird or unusual. Our house looked exactly the same as always. I walked up the driveway and took my keys out of my pocket. Like I always, the house was quiet because no one else was home yet. My parents were both still at work and Lena was probably still in the art room at school drawing something like she always does. I unlocked the door, stepped inside and closed it behind me. The house had that normal after school quiet. No TV, no talking, nothing. Just the kind of quiet you expect when you're the first one home. Honestly, it felt like a normal Wednesday, just another boring day after school. I dropped my backpack next to the door, kicked off my shoes, and went upstairs. The stairs cracked a little like they always do. I wasn't really paying attention to anything, just thinking about finally getting to sit down and relax for a bit. As I walked down the hallway, I noticed my bedroom door was half open. That caught my attention right away because I always close it before I leave in the morning. I don't know why, it's just a habit I've had for a long time. I stopped for a second and looked at it. It wasn't wide open, just a little bit, like someone had pushed it open slowly and then left it there. At first, I thought maybe I just forgot to close it. That happens sometimes when you're rushing in the morning, you don't really remember every little thing you did. So I didn't think too hard about it. I walked over and pushed the door open, and that's when I saw her. My sister. She was sitting on my bed. She wasn't looking at me, she was facing the window, just sitting there completely still. Her back was toward the door and her hands were resting in her lap like she had been sitting there for a long time. She didn't move, not even a little. a second, it was just confused. My brain was trying to figure it out why she was there. Because the thing was, she wasn't supposed to be home. She should have been at school. Her art club doesn't end until 5. I stood in the doorway for a second, totally confused. Before I said, Lena, at first she didn't move. She just kept sitting there on my bed facing the window. For a second, I even wondered if she heard me at all. Then after a few seconds, she slowly turned her head toward me. I mean really slowly. It was the kind of slow movement that makes you notice every little part of it. Like she wasn't used to move her neck or like she had to think about how to do it first. That was the first movement something really felt wrong. Then she smiled at me, except it wasn't her smile. It didn't look natural. It was too wide, too scratched across her face, like it was forced. Like it hurt just to hold that expression. Her lips were pulled back further than a normal smile should go. Honestly, it didn't even look like a real human smile. Something cold dropped inside my chest when I saw it. For a second, I couldn't even move. I just stood there staring at her. Then she spoke. You're home early. But the way she said it, it sounded wrong. The voice sounded like Lena's, but not exactly. It was like someone had heard her voice before and was trying to copy it, but couldn't get it perfect. The tone was a little off. The way she said that words felt strange, like they didn't came out naturally. It was close, but not close enough. I swallowed, suddenly feeling nervous for no reason at all. My mind was reacting, but I couldn't think straight. I didn't even know why, but I lied without planning to. Yeah, I said. School ended early. She kept looking at me for a moment, then she slowly tilted her head. But it tilted a little too far, just past the point where it should have been comfortable. Then she said, close the door. I don't want her to see me. For a moment I just stood there. I didn't move. My brain felt slow, like it was trying to catch up with what was happening. The words didn't really make sense at first. I looked back at the hallway behind me and then at her again. Close the door, she repeated, still smiling that same strange smile. My hands was still on the door, but I didn't push it. I don't want her to see me. At first, I didn't understand what she meant. My brain couldn't process anything except the fact that something about her was wrong. Everything about her was wrong. The way she sat there, the way she smiled, the way she talked. None of it felt like Lena. I tried to think of a normal explanation, but nothing made sense. So I just asked the first thing that came to my mind. See you? Who? For a second she didn't answer. She just stared at me. Then she slowly leaned forward on the bed. The movement looked stiff, almost awkward, like her body didn't bend the way it was supposed to. And when she leaned forward, I swear I could hear her joints cracking. She lowered her voice and it came out almost like a hiss. Your other sister. The second she says that, my entire body went numb. I just stood there staring at her, trying to understand what she meant. The words kept repeating on my head, but they didn't make any sense. Your other sister? I only have one sister, Lena. That's it. For a moment I wondered if this was some kind of a joke. Maybe she was trying to scare me, but the way she was looking at me and that horrible stressed smile on her face made it clear this wasn't a joke. Something inside me just snapped. I didn't ask another question. I didn't try to understand it. I didn't even think. I just ran. I turned around and ran out of my room as fast as I could. I didn't look back at her. I didn't want to see if she was still sitting on the bed or if she was standing right behind me. I just ran. My feet slammed against the floor as I rushed down the hallway. My heart was beating so hard it felt like it was going to burst out of my chest. When I reached the stairs, I almost missed the first step. I grabbed the railing and ran down them as fast as I nearly slept and cracked my head open. I boiled out the front door and didn't stop running until I reached the end of the street. My heart was beating so fast it felt like I couldn't breathe. I bent over for a second trying to catch my breath, but my whole body was shaking. I kept looking back toward my house from where I was standing. It looked completely normal. The windows, the driveway, the front door, nothing looked different. If someone walked by, they'd probably think it was just another quiet house on the street. But I knew what I saw. My hands were shaking so badly I couldn't barely unlock my phone. It took me 2 tries before I finally managed to call my mom. The phone rang for a few seconds before she picked it up. "Hello," she said. I tried to speak, but my voice came out weird, like my throat was tight. "Mom," I said, breathing hard. "Where's Lena?" There was a short pause on the phone, then she answered me in a slightly annoyed voice. Like I had asked a really obvious question. "She's still at school," she said. "Why?" I didn't know what to say. I just stood there at the end of the street staring at my house, holding the phone to my ear and trying to figure it out how to explain that I'd just seen Lena sitting on my bed. When my parents finally came home, I tried to explain what happened, but they didn't believe me. At first, my mom thought I was joking. She even laughed a little and asked why I was trying to scare her like that. But when she saw that I wasn't smiling and that I looked completely serious, the mood changed. My dad asked me to explain everything again, so I did. I told them about coming home from school, about going upstairs, about my bedroom door being half open, and about seeing Lena sitting on my bed even though she was supposed to be at school. While I was talking, they kept looking at each other like they already had their own explanation. When I finished, my dad went upstairs to check my room. My mom followed him, and I stayed downstairs for a minute because I honestly didn't want to go back up there. After a few seconds, I forced myself to follow them. They searched my room, checked the closet locked under the bed, even checked the bathroom and the other rooms upstairs, and they found nothing. No one was there. My dad came back into my room and looked at me like he was trying to figure it out was going on my head. My mom put her hand on my shoulders and said I probably just fell asleep and dreamed it. My dad said maybe I was stressed from school. Then my mom said maybe it was just a shadow or my eyes playing tricks on me when I walked into the room. They kept giving normal explanation like that, but none of them made sense to me. I didn't argue with them though. I didn't even have the energy to. To this day I still don't know what that thing was, because I know for sure that wasn't my sister because we called her and she was at school. I really don't know how to explain this, but I hope someone out there had the same experience and had an explanation about it. But till then, I just going to stay silent. Goodbye, guys, and I hope you have a wonderful time listening to this story. Don't forget to like and subscribe this channel because there would be a lot of scary stories